I've been living from the neck up. Talk too loud but I don't feel much. All these colors in a clothes box, dust on every bright brush. Bare feet on the cold floor, body talking like it knows more. Little river in my loco, saying let me go, let me pour. I'm lighting up the waters of my fire, melting all the borders I acquire. Every breath I'm coming back to me. Wave by wave I set my feelings free. I'm lighting up the waters of my fire, letting every pulse take me higher. In my belly, in my blood I see, I reclaim, I remember me. Slow hips in a small room, orange glow in the half moon. Every sway is a soft yes, every tear is a sweet breast. Hands land on my own skin, say my name like it's new again. I am art, I am hunger, I get louder, I get younger. I'm lighting up the waters of my fire, melting all the borders I acquire. Every breath I'm coming back to me. Wave by wave I set my feelings free. I'm lighting up the waters of my fire, letting every pulse take me higher. In my belly, in my blood I see, I reclaim, I remember me. Let it rush through. Every too much, every not you. I bless my wants, I bless my aim. This tender storm was mine to make. I'm lighting up the waters of my fire, melting all the borders I acquire. Every breath I'm coming back to me. Wave by wave I set my feelings free. I'm lighting up the waters of my fire, letting every pulse take me higher. In my belly, in my blood I see, I reclaim, I remember me.
Hey, this is Brindlewolf. You're listening to Rise Awakenings, part of the Rise Radio Network where advice meets action, with programs to spark your growth, lift your spirits, and help you rise into your potential. Rise Awakenings, hear the call. Through the static, we break the wall. Your station, your voice where dreams awaken and climb. Rise Awakenings, now is the time. Rise Awakenings, let's rise together.
It's Brindlewolf and Diane, so listen up if you can. Yeah, journey with them
Welcome
today.
to the first episode
They help you
of
find
Phoenix
your
Talks,
way.
a podcast
Oh.
that Diane and I are going to be bringing
Mental
to you.
wellness is the
And we're going to be
topic of
talking
the hour.
about
Mental
various
health
different
and the
topics
power
that we
to tap into
decided we're going to talk
alignment
about.
will lead to a refinement. Phoenix Talks, a show like you've never seen. Phoenix Talks, awareness that has never been. Phoenix Talks with Brindlewolf and Diane. Phoenix Talks, so tune in if you can. as they help us to transform and find refuge from the storm. Because all the branches they will climb for you just in the nick of time. With Brindlewolf and Diane, Phoenix talks, so tune in if you can, as they help us to transform and find refuge from the storm. Because all the branches they will climb for you just in the nick of time. Because they have a lot to say, yeah, you'll feel different in every way. Oh, in alignment they have flown, your transformation will be shown. Phoenix talks, a show like you've never seen. Phoenix talks, awareness that has never been. Phoenix talks, with Brindlewolf and Diane. Phoenix talks, so tune in if you can. With Brindlewolf and Diane, Phoenix talks, so tune in if you can.
Look over here, something happens over there. No, 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 no. Just a minute. Yeah, yeah. Outsider in left or right, truth is hiding in plain sight. Too caught up in the dream, all is not as it seems. Mind sensing, body tensing, senses flooded, reality gutted, leaving us rummaging for truth in a mountainside of lies. From blue to amber, fire in the skies. Wait, good. Distracted by hate, algorithms watch, deciding my fate. Who's lying, telling the truth? Corrupt the honest, mesmerize the youth. Holding phones while eating dinner. Righteous rewrite, who's a sinner? Wars rage, people caged, weather changing, greed rearranging. It's no wonder we're rummaging for truth in a mountainside of lies. From blue to amber, fire in the skies. Good. Distracted by hate, algorithms watch, deciding our fate. Yeah. Creating all the problems aimed to distract, altering our minds, change how we act. Watching screens that watch right back, nervous system under attack. Anger raising, false praising, fences unmending, reality bending. Wait, just a minute, this life we're in it, our direction we get to choose. Real focus we can lose. We decide. How we interact, knowing they're real when they distract. Where's the peace, right or wrong? That's the distraction from this song. While we're rummaging for truth in a mountainside of lies. From blue to amber, fire in the skies. Where's the good? Distracted by hate, algorithms watch, deciding our fate. Put it down, look within. That's really where you need to begin.
Welcome everyone to Phoenix Talks. I am Brindlewolf, and this is my lovely co-host Diane. Oh, there are our names. Oh wait, I didn't change mine. Oh no, there's always something at the beginning of the show that I have to fix.
Imposter.
Ah! See, I was trying to distract you from the truth.
That was a great song, by the way. I love it.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun to write and figure out because there was a specific sound that I wanted. That was it. And thank you, Suno, for creating that. Oh my God,
Yeah,
it was so
wonderfully.
much fun.
This is your topic. Let's talk about it and tell us what Phoenix Talk is about.
Anyway. All right. So, Phoenix Talks. If this is the first time you've ever tuned in, it is a conversation that Reverend Diane and I will have, completely organic, based on a topic one of us decided. Tag, it was my turn because it just kind of popped into my head. I'm like, guess what? This is what we're talking about. I actually had the song pretty much written before I even told her what it was about. But there is no real planning aside from writing the song, telling her what it is, or her telling me what it is, and then I write the song. Producing the song and coming here.
Yeah.
We have a rule at which we are very strict with each other about. We're like, no. We do not talk about it until after all of the intros, after I press go live. So this week, we're going to be stepping into a little bit of the territory that I usually try to avoid with the inspiration for this song.
What was the inspiration?
The inspiration for this topic, which was the song, is how we get so flooded by truth via social media that it's very difficult for us to rummage through it to know what is true and what isn't. And what doesn't help is that now that cookies have been created for technology, our phones, the cameras that we use on our computers aren't just shooting our image. They aren't just displaying an image anymore. They are watching and listening to us. And if you are noticing in a scroll that you're seeing the same kind of posts, and it doesn't matter which social media, it really doesn't. If you give attention to that, the algorithm is paying attention and taking note of what you are interested in. Now, what does this have to do with mental health?
A lot.
Well, guess what? Guess what? Your subconscious works the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have technology mimicking that. Now, you want to laugh? Because here's something to consider as well. We'll be right back. You know, it's amazing. In the less than 40 years, how technology has grown. Does anybody remember a program called Chaos that was out in the very early 90s?
Where you could create worlds. You could generate an entire planet right there on your PC. Had the 5 1/4 floppy disks that you would put in, load it up on the computer. Try and figure out a parameter. You'd plug it in, and then wait.
For days. Let's fast forward a little bit.
Sitting in your computer lab and you want to send a message to somebody across the room, instead of sending paper notes, all you had to do was plug into their sign-in with their screen name and send them a message. Yep, then that turned to being able to do it on your computer, listening to that wonderful tone that we all knew was connecting us. And then you're able to start entering chat rooms, have private messages. Then technology just, oh God, we got impatient. The more that we were able to do, the more impatient we became with getting things done fast. If it takes more than 7 seconds to get your attention to be able to get something done, now you're like, oh, well, this takes too long. I'm going to have to do something else. But there's a hidden aspect of impatience that a lot of people don't think about. I mean, it has its good and bad qualities, because the good quality of impatience is that it causes you to be a little bit more creative than you might have been, because you start looking for other ways to do something that's going to take you less time. Think about that. And think about the centuries of growth that we've experienced.
I mean, we've gone through more than a century of growth in just the past 20 years with technology and being able to walk around looking weird in our streets, holding a phone, making a video. But, without curiosity, without how can I do this better, technology is not going to be created. New technology, better technology. But the use of it, what we do with it, matters. And if we're not going to use what we've created to better the planet, to better ourselves, to better our way of life as a race, then we've been wasting our time and need to take a small step backwards so that we can take a different look and realize that sometimes
Faster is not better, especially if it gets to a point where so many people are so impatient with what
it is that they want to accomplish that they need it done in a nanosecond. My friends, have some more patience, because sometimes it's worth the wait. It's worth the curiosity in between. I mean, look at going back to chaos.
Do you think somebody sat in front of their computer for literally days, did nothing else? No, they went about their lives, did something else, got something else done. And you can too. We don't need to harm the human race any more than it already is by adding more heat, taking our resources away. We got enough.
Let's slow it down a little bit, okay?
That was so fun. You know how
No, normally, she froze. She's gonna
I
have
used to like to pass messages to people, which was you froze. I'm sorry.
One of us froze. I don't know which one, but
It might have been me. I'm not sure.
apparently technology is trying to move too fast, or we're trying to move too fast through it. And normally I wouldn't bring in anything else that I had created outside, but that just fit. Because one of the things that I want us to get to is how, because we allow these distractions to basically rule our routine on a daily basis. I know a lot of people fight it. A lot of people step back from it. More people need to. We all need to be able to have the time that we're not holding a computer generator in our hands. We already got one up here. Ooh, made her freeze. Or I froze. One of the two.
Oh, there you go. Okay, you froze. It might be me freezing because it's been kind of spotty, so sorry.
Oh, and why did I slow down so bad there? That was on purpose.
That's all on purpose. I love it.
The speed up, slow down, and randomness of the speed of that was all on purpose. So, I've done all my intro rambling. I want to hear your take.
It's so interesting that you picked this topic, because I have been saying lately that I just want to go back to where things were simpler. And yes, technology is fabulous for so many reasons, but I want to go email somebody like this. Do you remember? Who remembers this is how we pass notes?
Right? Yes.
That was an email back in the day.
It really was.
But Michael remembers.
Right. Or you had that where you folded up into a square, but you had just a little bit that you folded into a little diagonal, and you passed, and you'd say, "Hey, can you hand this over to them?"
But there's a reason why I've been talking about this lately, and not even with you. So this is just, we're feeling it. We're feeling the pressure of having to get the next fix for the overstimulation of the distraction that this holds. It holds a lot of distraction. So it's aside from the content itself, it's the device and its speed at which it produces. So we have everything has to be within like 30 seconds or less. And if you don't, this is why I short circuited when I was trying to do social media stuff. I'm like, you know what? I am so much more productive when I am not trying to keep up with the devices and the way of being. I kind of miss just opening up a damn Yellow Pages. I don't want to sound like an old fuddy-duddy. It's not about that. Technology is fabulous in so many ways, but the saturation of and the pressure of billions of people, or millions at minimum, of people all sending information your way, and that information could be AI driven. We've been training the AI through social media. We are training. Why is the internet for free? The internet was free. Nothing is ever free, okay? The fact that it was free tells you something's off. Look at how we've been conditioned through the years now. And we've been training the AI through the years with our interaction with these devices.
Oh, yeah.
Interaction with these social medias. And the information now is being pieced together with all these different opinions from millions of people across the globe. It's not going to be necessarily accurate, but you're getting your dopamine hit, you're getting your hits, you're getting your oxytocin hits, whatever kind of hit you need, you're getting it. And now we're disconnecting from each other more. We're disconnecting from the truth more. We're completely sucked in and distracted because we have stuff to do, but let me just watch one more video.
I want any of the parents here to find a Rand McNally and hand it to their kids and take their phone away.
Good luck.
Good luck. They'll be like, what? I don't know this. How am I going to find where I'm supposed to go? I need my GPS to tell me.
So a society controlled and distracted is so much easier to manipulate and so much easier to gaslight and so much easier to keep satisfied in this rat race robotic existence that we live in. And this doesn't sound like my usual speak, but the reality of our existence is the reality of our existence. And that's a truth that we can't ignore, but we do because we're distracted.
Yeah.
That distraction gives us the chemical hits that we need. That is very destructive for our overall health and well-being because we are no longer in the stillness. When we're not in the stillness, we are so disconnected from ourselves. I spend more time unplugged now than I do plugged in because all I want to do is check what time it is. And now all of a sudden it's 15 minutes later. I'm like, wait, I still didn't check the time. How do I know it's 15 minutes later? Because a long time went by. Wise ass. I heard that, whoever.
You know, I was just, it's too long for me to post on the screen, but I'm going to read it because Michael just said something that I really like in the chat. Is it bad I built a concept AI today that when you ask it to build or do something for you, it makes sure you know the basics of what it's doing. And if you don't, teaches you how to run it without it before it moves forward. And definitely has sarcasm response setting. Of course it does. Of course it does.
Technology is beneficial in so many different ways. I'm not anti-technology by any means.
No. What we're pointing to today is, and this is the easiest, especially for Americans, this is the easiest reference, okay? Regardless of which side of the aisle, which color you are, left or right, there's a reason these were lyrics in the song. Left or right, red or blue, doesn't matter. What do you pay attention to? Because that's what you're fed. And that's the truth that you believe. That's the truth that you rummage through and keeps the division. And if social media can be flooded, then you can be distracted by looking here instead of what's going on in reality over there.
And there's so much excessive information. like the song said, we're supposed to be rummaging through all of this stuff to see what really resonates with us. So how do we navigate through? And I think, how do we navigate through finding our truth and finding the truth with all of this distraction, all of this excessive, too much information, half of which may not even be accurate? Like I saw a video the other day on the flower of life, and this is something that is ancient, and it has been in every continent long before technology and they could communicate. So it is ancient, and it has been all over the world in many different spaces and places. And I heard a video. I'm like, oh, flower of life, what do you have to say? And I started listening. I'm like, are you demonizing the flower of life? How the hell
God.
do you do that? How is that even possible?
Oh, that made my third eye twitch.
I know. And I said to myself, I'm like, this is bad, because they're not, I mean, like, there's so much AI stuff out there, and so much. I'm not knocking AI. I'm saying we got to rummage through the truth. So how do we do that? Because I know I've done a ton of research on the flower of life, and I've got an education on the flower of life. So I'm not going to fall prey to a video like that turns me away from it. And quite frankly, I think it's rather dangerous, that kind of information, because it does assist you in your spiritual journey when you start to actually draw it out yourself and practice with sacred geometry and start incorporating stuff like that. It's very, very helpful along your journey.
Right.
So when you have videos out there spewing information that's like, where the hell are you getting that from? It makes no sense to me, but someone else who's not familiar with everything about the flower of life is going to see that video and be afraid of it, and then not expand themselves to grow and evolve. So there's dangers. It's detrimental to our overall growth and evolution, having to rummage through. And how do we know what's real and what's not real? There's a lot of fear-based stuff out there. So I think where I'm going to go with this. Is it bringing in fear, anger, sadness, shame? Like, what is it bringing in to your experience? If it's sticking to fear-based stuff and fear-mongering, and that includes in politics too. I may be talking about some spiritual thing that's fear-mongering. What about the politics? There's fear, 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 fear. How the hell are you supposed to know what the truth is? So let's talk about that, Michka. Everyone's
Which part?
And this is not about like whose side you. It is not a separation.
No.
The whole point is this distraction separates us from one another. There was a time I remember that we didn't talk about politics or religion or some personal belief kind of thing like that, because it was considered disrespectful, as a manner of respecting other people's beliefs in politics and whatever. You didn't discuss it. That somewhere disappeared in our history when this came along, and it was shoved in our faces in 30 seconds or less.
And because you are on this side of the aisle, this is the type of person you are, and you are just wrong, and you should not be in existence, and all of these other things. And then you got the other side of the aisle saying the same thing about that side of the aisle. Meanwhile, here's the truth. You need both. You need the ideologies of both. I just got chills saying that. But somewhere along the way, the dollar sign took precedence over humanitarian.
Our humanity.
That's what I want. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
But it was like,
no, you said it. Our humanity is different now. Our ability to connect with others has shifted. And I think that's on purpose, of course, to keep us separated. There was a lot more unity when I was growing up, and I'm not saying there weren't problems in the world. And I'm not saying this is the creation of problems in the world, because it's not. What I'm saying is we tend to get sucked into what the system who's trying to keep us controlled, distracted, and disconnected, we get sucked into it. It becomes an addiction. It becomes a habit. It becomes such a distraction that it's confusing to us internally, and we're being programmed subconsciously to need more of this information. And even if that information isn't accurate, we still just need some hits of something. I mean, I've turned my algorithm into micro learning to assist myself. There's that we can do for ourselves. That doesn't take away the information that's not accurate. We still have to expand our own knowledge.
I would love to do a poll. I mean, everybody in the live audience can if they want to, but just in general, how many people get so distracted and so flooded by what they're fed, regardless of the topic, okay? Regardless of the topic, that they begin to feel they can't do anything, their voice doesn't matter. So why do anything? And just sit there and be complicit, complacent, and don't do a thing. Because they are so distracted, because they are so flooded, that they're exhausted. That the only thing that they have energy for is to find out more about what it is already exhausting them, which is enigmatic.
So I feel as though, and I like this comment here. I feel like everyone is trying to be accepted. I don't have my thing on me. Hold on one second. I feel like this is from April. I feel like everyone is trying to be accepted and has separated us and said, absolutely. So these distractions are great in some ways because we feel relatable, we feel connected with people, but we're not actually connected. And that's the issue. Is the illusion that it creates of connectedness when it's actually creating disconnectedness, and the distraction that it creates this lapse in your own ability to obtain information through any other means. And I say lapse because it's not like our ability to obtain information disappears. We're just so sucked into trying to get it this way. And we're finding all these relatable people, and we're feeling heard and seen and understood by complete strangers that we've never spoken to or connected with on any level, other than watching them share themselves as they also are in their own journey of being accepted and trying to feel connected.
Yeah.
Now, social media at one point in my life was literally the only friends that I had, except for one person in this human world at one point in my life. So it's got its pros and cons, but at that time, it wasn't 30-second videos. At that time, it was, I'm having conversations with people. And so within having those conversations with people, I created a connection.
Yeah. Bubble Kittens, I think that the movie that you're trying to explain or remember is Virtuosity. I might be wrong, but that's what's coming to mind. Where people wear the gaming masks and forget to come back to the real world.
Well, I've never seen that.
But you understand, whether you've seen it or not, you understand the concept, because just today, all right, I'm such a hypocrite, but that's okay. I embrace that I'm a hypocrite at times. Okay. But for us making that video that I shared with you, I was editing while I was walking. I was like this the whole time that I walked 3/4 of a mile. That's the hypocrisy. But at the same time, I got stuff to do, and I have to combine because time is very precious for me. Ready Player One, yes, that was actually my first thought, but then I was like, no, I don't remember that. But anyway, yes, Ready Player One.
It's we've become very disconnected, whilst also simultaneously finding people that can validate us. So there's a mind fuck here with social media, with the political BS that's spewed everywhere, with um, the hook things that we see constantly. I don't know what you call them, like,
Hooks.
hooks. There's a level of us not using our brain anymore the way we used to use our brain that is impacting our ability, our cognitive ability, our executive function, especially for us neurospicies. It is incredibly toxic for neurospicy people to get sucked into that quick hit, quick hit, quick hit. It takes up a lot of spoons and sucks out our energy and siphons out our brain power, and then we don't have enough left to accomplish what we need to accomplish. So it's super important for us to set parameters and boundaries for ourselves on what we're going, and how do we also, like, I want to talk about with everyone. I said that I've got my algorithm set to micro learning. That's one thing, but then how we can navigate through and rummage through all of this information so that we can cut out the distraction. It starts within us, because everything begins and ends within ourselves. So let's go down that rabbit hole, because first of all, we have to set boundaries for ourselves and recognize we are more powerful than our body chemistry, because this distraction is just activating body chemistry so that we become addicted to it. Okay, so as long as we understand that very clearly from a scientific level, we're in charge of what hits we take. So we have to set boundaries with ourselves. Just like an alcoholic has to say no to alcohol, we have to say no to getting sucked into another video. That takes a desire to not get sucked in. So what are we escaping from? Right? We're going to treat this like an extra addiction is what we're going to treat this like. And that's just the part one, because I feel like when you rid yourself from that hooked connection that you have more capacity to rummage through to find what the truths are for yourself. You have more clarity to discern, well, I don't know if I agree with that necessarily in my intuition. Let me go find some research and see what the most agreed upon professional research, peer reviewed, all the information needs to have backing. And that takes time. Start with your intuition and start with clarity of mind. So get off the addiction part of it first. That's you setting boundaries for yourself and you deciding that I'm going to rummage through the truth. But first, let me not need a hit and get distracted. Let me just decide, what do I want to learn? And slow yourself, because here's the other thing that's happening. We're getting this micro learning, right? What happened to learning the whole thing? So now you're getting tiny little bits and pieces that someone else edited, right? Including in any aspect, okay? Whether it's an industry of work, whether it's spiritual stuff, whether it's politics, you're getting just a fraction of the bigger picture in someone else's idea of context. So it's too edited now. So you have to
By the way, speaking of edited, originally that video was 4.5 minutes long.
I think you edited it so brilliantly because it was just perfect. Feeding up.
There was a lot of talking that I actually edited out, which is why there's so many, it's so all over the place. Before I sped it up. You have no idea what I edited out, do you? It's okay, neither do I forgot. You heard what I wanted you to.
Yes, and I see someone...
And that's the point. That's the point. He edited the edit before editing. Yes, I did.
Right. And so someone is asking, what about setting too many boundaries? Well,
Those we call barriers.
if the boundary's not working, or if it's not actually helping you with your overall health and well-being and goals and productivity and for your highest good and your benefit, then it's tweak time. Nothing is ever written in stone. I feel like we feel like, well, I promised myself, but I don't make promises, because I understand that every time I receive new information that is valid and trusted and acceptable and intuition wise, I'm like, yeah, that feels right in my soul. I'm going to be different. I'm going to think different. I'm going to act different.
I'm going to knock my glass over.
I'm going to knock my straw over. So boundaries are there for us to find out where our perimeters are, and to help us to not get bamboozled and sucked into things that are distracting us.
I have an example about setting a boundary that is kind of wobbly and wonky. I'm sure most people have heard about the individual. I'm not going to name names, but I will name the corporation because I can't stand them now and I'm really upset with them. But there was an individual who was helping other patrons of Walmart who were struggling, and he could tell that they were struggling, who was banned from the entire company. All Walmarts, all Costco's, and all Murphy's Gases. No longer allowed on the property, period. And my response is, I no longer want to shop there. We actually had this conversation in my Risers in Flight group, I think last night. And somebody said, well, what if that's your only option that's close? Sometimes boundaries need to be flexible. Maintaining your integrity, you can be flexible. So whatever boundary you are, when you add boundary after boundary after boundary because of being hurt, because you're afraid of getting hurt again, you're literally distracting the positive from entering in. Because there's that focus of fear that's building up that wall barrier around you that just gets more and added to and added to and added to. There's a specific word that I'm having trouble braining today on the good words.
Words are hard.
Words are hard. But making it thicker so that it's harder for positive change and making it more difficult to be flexible. So allow a little bit of permeability in those boundaries. Trust your gut. And that's one thing that these can take away. Especially if you were glued to the same kind of material over and over. I caught myself getting into this rut, and it was changing my mood, changing my behavior. Why I put it in a song. Mm-hmm. And I had to put it down. Because guess what? I could pick up where I left off at any time when I had calmed down and welcomed in the positivity and welcomed in breathing. Because it's stifling to know everything that we know. There was a post that I put up on Facebook the other day that confused a few people as to what it was pointing to. Where I said, it wasn't too long ago that we had to wait for that rolled up piece of paper to be thrown on our front porch to find out what happened yesterday.
We had to wait for the news.
We don't have that problem anymore.
Yeah.
And actually, it was pointing to the fact that there was as much news going on back then. I mean, yeah, there's more people on the planet now than there was back then, but there was the same level of news and media going on worldwide that we didn't know about because we didn't have access to it. Now we have access to it, and we're so flooded that we're trying to rummage through the truth. That's the point.
So I feel as though the rummaging through the truth part goes back to, is this belief in alignment with my overall health and well-being and who I am and authenticity and all that jazz? Because it's a wonderful tool, and it is a fabulous way to expand your knowledge. But what is it that you're looking at? It's your choice what you're looking at. It is your choice what happens in your algorithm. It is your choice if you're going to expand your knowledge on something or just take 2 sentences in 30 seconds as that's the whole story. Knowing that there's nuances, like the bloom, I talked about, like the different essences of divine femininity and how they are represented or who represents them in different cultures.
Yeah.
Listen, if you read the backstories on what these women did, you'd be like, what the hell is she talking? There's a lot of nuances and meat and potatoes in there. So all I did was edit myself down to like, well, here's the general. So have to trust your own intuition, and that's not going to happen if you are so plugged in. My homework for you: detox. Clear your mind of this. Take a couple of days off. Tell your family I'm unreachable. I'm hardly on here anymore, because for me it is a vast distracted. You know what I got done? I'm like 2 paintings are done, 1 more is in the works. I started doing website stuff. Like I've got my other lessons that I'm learning from my shamanic practices over here. Like I'm accomplishing a hell of a lot more unplugged. And I think that's the point, because the truth is are we in alignment with ourselves? Or
And then you have me, who has to find the balance between the two, because that's what I do.
That's okay.
Which is why this is such an important show and an important topic. Is we are in an AI world.
Right.
It's not going anywhere. It doesn't matter how many fights we have and how many restrictions we want to put on the data centers being built. It's not going away.
It's not. And we do, like, listen, sometimes I will sit and doom scroll because I need to just not think anymore. And I want to turn my brain off. So I've shifted this into like watching TV at night. Instead of watching TV, I'm micro learning or something like that. And I'm just kind of letting my brain not think anymore for the moment.
That part.
Right. So I'm using it as a tool to not think, and I'm using it as a distractive tool so that I can just whatever.
That's one reason why with Rise Radio, I'm actually grateful that we have music shows that people can listen to, because it's not feeding anything new except for somebody's new take on a cover song or a song that somebody else did. It's a healthy distraction.
Yeah. So
I love that you gave me the opportunity for a shameless plug for the station.
Good. And Rise Radio is focused on music. And so, like, for me, we need to work with technology. I think the truth that we need to find is, how can I make this distraction work for me? How can I use this to my advantage? How can this be a tool for me to move myself forward? What can I learn? What can I focus on? Where can I access that information? How can I validate that information? How can I utilize it in my own experience? So if you're not micro learning or learning, okay, and you're not taking that information and digesting it and integrating it into your own experience to validate its truth for you, then you're keeping yourself stuck in that distractive rut that's taking away your ability to think clearly. It's stopping you from producing let me just say, it's stopping you from exercising your neuroplasticity when you're distracted. It's now just taking from you and feeding into your brain and subconscious and programming you and conditioning you into new beliefs and thought patterns that may not still be aligned with you. So be very intentional in your choices with regards to how you're going to use that technology and information.
I'm going to pull up 2 comments really quick, back to back. Bubble Kitten says, I don't know how to turn off thinking.
You don't.
Michelle Wade says, it's hard to turn off overthinking when it's been all survival mode.
Yeah. Thinking doesn't turn off.
No.
It doesn't go away.
Nope. You actually want to be able to continue thinking. It's healthy to be able to think. Overthinking, well, white noise. Find white noise. Lean into it.
This could be white noise.
Excuse me.
So every sleep professional on the planet will tell you get off of this thing at night. If I don't have something the white noise that I need to listen to, sometimes it's somebody's voice, like David Attenborough talking about this lovely mushroom. Oh, by its, so I just need to hear something because that helps focus my brain into something else and relaxes me. So use it strategically, because we don't turn off our brains, especially the neurospices. But if I don't have my auditory processing activated, then this gets very, 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 very loud. And I will not sleep. I will not, because we were like, oh, get off the phone and you'll sleep better. I'm like, you obviously know nothing about neurodivergent brains and don't talk to me. No, I don't say that. That's not true. But find what works best for you, because not everyone has this brain, but find what works best for you and decide for yourself how you're going to utilize this as your tool and not your distraction. It could either destroy your brain or help you develop it. So you choose. And I think that's what where's the truth? What am I feeding myself? That's the question. Right.
It's right here.
Yeah.
That's where the truth is.
Yes. What are you feeding yourself?
Every single human being on the planet is born with innate wisdom. And that wisdom, when it's unlocked and allowed, it's the voice of your intuition. It's the voice of your gut instinct. It's the voice of, how can I find this knowledge that I need?
Mm-hmm.
That's wisdom.
I see in the comments a lot of people are talking about what actually helps them.
Right. And when it comes to, well, what kind of music or what kind of noise is going to relax me? Well, pay attention to when you start to yawn or you start to get a little droopy based on what you're listening to. I can get droopy listening to rock music, so I could probably go to sleep to that. I don't. But there are times that it makes me sleepy. What noise taps your brain off? And here's another suggestion. Because I used to go to sleep or try to go to sleep, and my brain was like, oh, but I have, and I would be nervous. Because I was in survival mode at the time. And I would start to get nervous about, oh, well, I didn't get this paid, and I didn't finish that. And finally, I had to say to myself, self, there is nothing you can fix this time of night. And nothing that you can take care of in this moment, because your body is tired and you need rest. Go to sleep. Talk to it like you would a child. Not scolding, just saying there's nothing that can be done with this right now. It's time to go to sleep. I need this to stop.
So let's talk about, and all this is great information, but um, rummaging for the truth. I think a lot of it is, or what are we looking for, or what are we avoiding, or what are we
That part.
escaping? What is it that we're trying to relate to? What needs are not being met that we trying to fulfill with these distractions that we're trying to fill a void of some kind? So the questions for ourselves are all of those questions that I just mentioned. What is it that we need? What are we missing? What are we escaping? What are you looking for? The answers that you're looking for are probably all over the internet. So I think part of it is too the questions that we ask. Are we going to ask ourselves the very specific questions? And you're not going to get the question right the first time. You're going to have to ask the question another 3 times in different ways to get the specific answers that you're looking for. And that's actually using your brain, because now you're formulating questions and getting specific with questions. So you're actually now exercising your brain with finding the information that you're looking for. But if you don't know what you're looking for and you don't know what you're escaping from, you're not going to set the boundaries that you need, and you're not going to be able to manage not getting sucked into this. And I'm pointing at my phone, but we have the computers,
Yeah.
we have TV. What are we watching? Are we
Well,
watching
it's easy to say phones because we don't see people walking around with laptops while they're doing everything. It's
or a TV?
or TV.
But how many of us, like, I used to live somewhere where the news was on every single day, and it was on in the morning. So it was like, loud news. And I don't do news because it's not the energy that I want to experience. I think it's poisonous energy. There's anger, there's hatred, there's separation, there's, just it's all energy I'm not interested in receiving. So, how many folks are just like, oh, I want to know what's going on in the world? Okay, fine. But there's different ways to learn what's going on in the world without bombarding your subconscious with the energy of fear, hatred, separation, fear, hatred, separation. It's like, ugh. So give yourself an opportunity to decide for yourself what you want to program yourself subconscious with. Okay?
Good one. Stop fighting for the truth that you're going to regret later. That's a seed for somebody. I don't know who, but it was very loud, very clear.
Yeah.
Stop fighting for the truth that you're going to regret later.
And I take that as just expand your knowledge in a productive and healthy way where you're not allowing yourself to get sucked into what they're trying to sell you to control you. Okay? All this distraction, all this untruth, all this distortion that we're being bombarded with is really, really, really damaging.
Yeah.
Choose how you receive that information. Choose where it's coming from. Choose what feels like it's helping your personal growth and evolution, not what feeds a beast that's actually doing damage to you. Be okay with deciding that maybe I learned bad information and I need to relearn without shaming or judging yourself, because that's the conditioning that they've been bombarding in you.
Yeah.
Final thoughts?
Real quick, let's look at the different varieties and levels of truth when you're looking at social media, because you are listening to and through the eyes of the person giving it to you, because content creators all over the place. So you are listening to their truth. about what they have picked up from someone else's truth of something that happened that someone else wrote down about something that someone did. Your perception of what you just heard. But then there's one over here, and that's reality. So going through all of these filters, forgetting over here, and not looking for what that actually is, and only taking all of these factors as face value and gospel, you're forgetting that.
So, on that note, the answer to this, wanting to know how to quiet the spicy brain, unplug. Wait, I'm trying to get it off. Hitting too many buttons.
No touchy.
Unplug.
I'm teasing.
This is amping up wild, too many thoughts happening at the same time. You already have enough thoughts to begin with. This distraction and whatever kind of distractions you're feeding yourself into is making that overthinking worse. So now instead of you're ruminating instead of actually allowing your brain to function the way it needs to function for yourself, which is analysis, not rumination. Overthinking in the context of healing to me means rumination. So are you reliving a story in your brain? Are these distractions escaping you from reliving those stories while simultaneously adding more chaos into your brain? Because that's what's happening. So instead, give yourself an unplugging, give yourself some breaks, force yourself to put the damn phone down or the TV off or the whatever you got going on, and force yourself to do something else that is, how can I love myself in this moment? So your normal, regular, spicy thinking brain goes back into analysis mode and fires new cells instead of chaos from the distortion and distraction. I hope that helps.
And then
it won't turn off.
all that onto the reality.
Yes. I mean, and even on these shows, on these podcasts, you're only getting a little bit. There's a lot of research and a lot of like education that backs up the basic general stuff that's coming out our mouths. So if you want more, just work with either of us and you'll get down deep into the nitty gritties of things.
Yeah.
But you know,
we could try and break down every nuance of every question that's asked or every tidbit that comes to mind.
That's like a whole semester of class. Like I just, so you're gonna get like the Reader's Digest condensed version.
Yeah.
But like these shows, Rise Radio, Rise Awakenings, these shows are ways of assisting you in helping yourself sort out your brain, helping your brain think of new things, because we have you have those aha moments. That's what you want. So the truth is going to make you feel like, oh, okay, yeah. No more distractions.
Well, healthy. Make them healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Realize that what you're listening to is all of these that I described, trying to describe this, which they never will. Not even me, not even her. Because everything that I say isn't gospel. Everything that she says isn't gospel. They are perspectives based on what we know and what we have seen and what we have experienced. If it
Yep.
doesn't resonate, listen to your fucking body and ignore what we fucking say.
And go find what does resonate. We're not
With
telling
love.
you, right? We can't tell you what to believe in or what to find truthful for you. We just can tell you to stop distracting yourself so that you have the clarity instead of the chaos in your brain, so that you can actually do the analysis and deduction that needs to happen for you to find the truth that's right for you.
That part. I got nothing else.
Unplug.
We could go on for another hour, but we don't need to.
Nope. Go unplug.
Please love yourselves. We
Yes.
love you so much and want to see you grow and glow and keep going.
Yes, we love you.
We'll see you tomorrow morning on The Core with Michael J, where we can't make this shit up. So, one more time for those in the back that didn't get to see it the first time, here's Rummaging the Truth. One more time.
Look over here, something happens over there. No, 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 no.
Just a minute.
Outsider in left or right, truth is hiding in plain sight. Too caught up in the dream, all is not as it seems. Mind sensing, body tensing, senses flooded, reality gutted, leaving us rummaging for truth in a mountainside of lies. From blue to amber, fire in the skies. Wait, good. Distracted by hate, algorithms watch, deciding our fate. Who's lying, telling the truth? Corrupt the honest, mesmerize the youth, holding phones while eating dinner. Righteous rewrite, who's a sinner? Wars rage, people caged, weather changing, greed rearranging. It's no wonder we're rummaging for truth in a mountainside of lies. From blue to amber, fire in the skies. Good. Distracted by hate, algorithms watch, deciding our fate. Creating all the problems aimed to distract, altering our minds, change how we act. Watching screens that watch right back, nervous system under attack. Anger raising, false praising, fences unmending, reality bending. Wait, just a minute, this life we're in it, our direction we get to choose. Real focus we can lose. We decide. How we interact, knowing they're real when they distract. Where's the peace, right or wrong? That's the distraction from this song. While we're rummaging for truth in a mountainside of lies. From blue to amber, fire in the skies. Where's the good? Distracted by hate, algorithms watch, deciding our fate. Put it down, look within. That's really where you need to begin.
Hey, this is Brindlewolf. You're listening to Rise Awakenings, part of the Rise Radio Network where advice meets action, with programs to spark your growth, lift your spirits, and help you rise into your potential. Rise Awakenings! Hear the call. Through the static, we break the wall. Your station, your voice where dreams awaken and climb. Rise Awakening, now is the time. Rise Awakenings, let's rise together.